Hello everybody, it's EzraTime here and welcome back to another review video. And today we are going to be reviewing an anime movie called The First Slam Dunk. Now, Slam Dunk is one of my favorite sport anime ever, and this anime is basically my childhood. I remember watching Slam Dunk when I was like in the second grade, I think, or like the first grade even, and back in the day I was a big fan of basketball. And then I stumbled upon, Slam Dunk, and it's a really cool anime and I really, really love it, to this day. And it's this anime is just my childhood, like when I was like 6 or 7 I watched this anime like the entire time, because again I was a big fan of basketball at the time. Now not anymore. But back in the day I was, and it was great, and I never actually planned to see the first Slam Dunk, to be honest. I heard that there's gonna be a new Slam Dunk movie and I was like, okay, I wasn't that hyped, to be honest, because I feel like my interest in basketball is like really went down at this point, and then like Slam Dunk is such an old anime, right? So I'll be honest, I never actually have a plan to watch this movie in the first place, but the reason is because this February is being so boring. Like nothing happening, nothing, not, there is no new movie that got released, especially in February. So, and I decided to check my, the 21 Cinema website, the movie website basically, and then the first Slam Dunk is about to play in obviously today on Wednesday, and I thought that, well, you know what? I might as well watch the first Slam Dunk. Why not, right? Because it's my childhood anime anyway. And honestly, that got me hyped. Just to see that it's coming soon, like like this week, this Wednesday. And I decided to like rewatching some of the old Slam Dunk episode. Obviously, from the 90s. And I was like, yeah, I've been several episodes to be honest, and I was like having so much fun watching that anime, remembering how great it was, like the character, the music. Obviously I love the music so much, um and yeah, I love the animation. I know it's the 90s, but I love the animation. I love the old styles of anime. And yeah, I think this is a really great nostalgia in a way. So that's why I decided to watch it. And let me just say this, guys, I think this is a great movie. It's not perfect, to be honest. We're gonna get to that later, but we're gonna get to the positive part first. So I think I'm just gonna mention right away. I think the positive part is the animation. Obviously, I think is great. It's realistic when you see the basketball game. It feels like you're watching a real life basketball game, and it's like watching an NBA almost, And I think the filmmaker, which is the also the manga writer, I think Takehiko Inoue. I think he mentioned several times that he hired several professional basketball player to basically consult the how the game should be portrayed in this anime. And I'll see when I see that game in theaters, it was like super great. It was realistic. It takes me back when I was a big fan of NBA. I watched that on TV the whole time, and I see the people play all the time. Like it literally like watching that NBA game. To be honest with you guys, that's what I'm getting for my experience watching the movie. It's great. And I think people again maybe people will be disappointed that it's not gonna be an entirely 2D animation. But I will give you guys this. It's a mix between what is it, like CGI, almost like a 3D animation, and then mixed with 2D in a way, and it's great. Like you feel the picture is alive. You feel this anime is alive, and you feel the character is alive. And again, the game is great. It feels like you're watching an actual NBA game, to be honest. And it's just great to see the character movement, which back in the 90s that you probably couldn't do that because again the technology was limited, which I have no problem. I think the 90s anime Slam Dunk was great, but seeing this with the new technology, man, it's just how far the technology has become, for the anime industries, and hopefully we get to see more anime like this, with good animation and maybe not way too realistic, but still it's a really good animation, but besides that, obviously the character, and this movie is focusing a lot on Ryota Miyagi, and obviously Miyagi is one of my favorite character in the Slam Dunk anime. I know that Sakuragi Hanamichi is like the main character, and I know that probably people might be worried about, oh, Sakuragi is not the main character. Oh man, that sucks. Well, Sakuragi still gets enough moment, which we're gonna get to that later. But first, Yorota Miyagi, which is the main character for this anime. Now I'm gonna meet the master of like Slam Dunk anime or manga to point me out on this, because again I read the ending of the manga. I just happened to read the final volume of the manga. When we see Shohoku versus the Sano High School. and remember seeing who won in the end. And I don't exactly remember. It does the manga actually show Miyagi backstory? Because like I feel like this one, I'm not entirely sure if this is like an entirely new backstory for Miyagi, for exclusively for the movie, this movie right here, or is it actually adapted from the manga? Because I'm not exactly sure because I'm not reading the entire manga. And I just happened to read the final volume. Like that was a long time ago. And so I'm gonna need that confirmation for you guys who actually read the Slam Dunk manga, to confirm me if Miyagi actually has a backstory in Okinawa. Like if he has, then well, please confirm me because regardless of that, I think the backstory is actually great. We get to see understand more of Miyagi's character, obviously, and you can sympathize with him a lot more in this anime, and to see him grow more as a person. Obviously, we know that he's like took place near the end of the manga, so everybody already grew at this point, but it's still great to see more backstory for Miyagi, and then just to see how that backstory really developed him as a character in this final battle against the Sano High School, basically. And it's just it's a great flashback, to be honest. And obviously, going back to the Sakuragi Hanamichi argument, that yeah, people might be worried that oh, Sakuragi Hanamichi got like, I don't know, step aside or something like that. No, like this movie right here, despite Miyagi being the main character, it does kind of focus on the other character as well. Like Akagi, right? Mitsuki, Rukawa, and obviously Sakuragi. Sakuragi got like a entire moment for himself. There is that several moments throughout the movie where the movie actually become like the classic slam dunk, with obviously having Sakuragi Hanamichi as the main protagonist, and there is several scenes and moments from the movie where Sakuragi pretty much take the lead, where he pretty much become the main character, and it's great, because I remember that was from the manga, and there is some worry that I was like, oh, are they gonna change Sakuragi's like role in this one? I hope not, because I feel like the manga ending is great, or like the final basketball game in the manga is great, so I don't want them to change that, change Sakuragi role, and they didn't. They actually kept it 100% in the movie, and that's where the movie pretty much become Sakuragi Hanamichi movie, the classic slam dunk, where he is the main character and is basically taking over to the point that I forgot that, oh wait a second, Miyagi was supposed to be the main protagonist in this movie, but Sakuragi is kind of taking over about that. But I don't have any problem, because I like Sakuragi Hanamichi's character. I don't necessarily love him as much, because I feel like there is some annoying personality that he has, with his beef with, Rukawa. I was like, come on, man, really? Like, we're near the end and then you still arguing with Rukawa. I know it's funny the first couple of times, but when they do that throughout the series, I'm not really enjoying it that much, because it just came across as childish, and that's what Sakuragi Hanamichi character was, like he's great, but also childish, which is why like I like him, but I don't love him like many people do, So again, sorry, it's just my opinion, okay? I gotta be honest. But I still like Sakuragi Hanamichi, and I'm really glad that he has his own moment, his big moment in this movie. And I was like nearly crying, to see like what he does in this movie. I was like, wow, man, like you come so far, man. Like you earned this moment, man. This is your moment, And yeah, but besides that, animation is great. The portrayal of the basketball game is great. Miyagi's backstory is great, and obviously Sakuragi Hanamichi moments in the movie, great stuff, But I have some problem with this movie. It's not perfect because mainly I would say the pacing of this movie, because this movie is, showing a flashback for Miyagi. It starts with Miyagi backstory as usual, and then you get to the credits, obviously opening credits, and then eventually you get to the Shohoku versus Sano basketball game. Like they're basically their semi-final, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think after this they have to fight one more school. And yeah, it pretty much jumped to that, and then the movie kind of like jumps back and forth between the game, the Shohoku versus Sano, and then you get to the Miyagi's backstory. And sure, throughout this backstory, you get to see like a couple of flashback, with Miyagi, some of the scene where Miyagi and Mitsuki fight in the rooftop, where they where Miyagi just like punched absolute shit out of Mitsuki. If you guys remember that from the Slam Dunk anime series, they recreate that in this movie, and obviously add more context to that matter, and same thing with Sakuragi, like Sakuragi is quote unquote bald, the red hair bald, in this movie, because he does cut his hair, and then there's a flashback with when he still has this like punk hair, where he's still like fighting people. And of course, a flashback with between him and Haruko when Haruko asks, like, do you like basketball? You see that flashback. It's not exactly a big spoiler, guys. It's just there. It's just there, and it's nice, to see that flashback to have some sort of nostalgia. But it really affects the. I feel like it really affects the pacing. There is some time in the movie where I was like really excited to see the game, the basketball game, and then suddenly they cut back to Miyagi's backstory, and I was like, come on, man, don't cut back to the Miyagi backstory. Like, I get that the backstory is like touching and emotional, and it has a wonderful conclusion. But I feel like the pacing is not really well done, because like you keep cutting back and forth, and eventually I get used to it. I know that this is how the movie will pace itself, and it does. The pacing on the second half does become, pretty much like really really better, and I was like really comfortable watching it, because they show a lot of the gameplay this time, and then occasionally showing the Miyagi's flashback, with every single anime always do that, you have a really cool battle, and then sometimes they do a flashback, and then that's what pretty much the second half of the movie do. But the first half also has that, but I feel like the pacing wasn't that very well done, because you show the game for a couple of minutes, and then you cut back to Miyagi's backstory for a long time, and then you cut back to the game, and then when you were engaged, you cut back to the Miyagi's backstory again. So I was like, okay, come on, that's why it's not perfect for me in terms of the pacing. I kind of wish that they can focus more on Miyagi's backstory first, maybe. But I get why they do this, because they can keep the audience, engaged. We're showing Miyagi's backstory, and then you get the gameplay going on. So obviously you're not going to be bored for like, backstory for the first half, and the second half is the game. But I don't know, I kind of prefer that. And in my opinion, I kind of prefer to see Miyagi's backstory first, So like when you get to the game, it has a lot more context to it. But it does work, in the movie. I do find it emotional. I do find it again, it works, in the whole movie itself, So that's why I think it's not super bad, but I just, it doesn't click with me that well when I first watch it, So maybe it's just me. I don't know. I think people will love this movie, Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention one thing. The musical score, obviously, like I mentioned in the beginning, I really love the music in this movie. And I will say this though, even though I really enjoy this music, from this anime, I was disappointed that they didn't exactly bring back any of the 90s, like musical score from the TV series, like, again, I'm not talking about the opening song. The opening song is like, I don't know where they're gonna put it, if they want to do that, but I was hoping that when the basketball game, plays in the movie, I was hoping they bring back some of the old musical score from the TV series, because I love the musical score so much, from the TV series. And even though this new musical scores is great, for this new anime, it is great, but I really miss that 90s song, and 90s score, and it just sucks that they didn't bring that back, and I was like, man, I wish they bring that back. But again, that's just me. I don't exactly saying this as a criticism. Is not a criticism, because again, it's just my biased opinion. I think, like, I want to see the old, or sorry, I want to hear the old musical score from the TV series, because I love the music so much in that TV series, and I just wanted to use it, in this new anime, just having that extra nostalgia again. But they didn't do that, sadly, So, okay, whatever, I guess. I mean, the music itself is great, it does work for the anime movie, so yeah, it's great. But yeah, guys, I love this anime. I really do. Maybe I'll make like another like slam dunk video just to talk about my experience for the anime. What I thought about the 1990s series. Because it's such a big part of my childhood. Again, maybe if this video does well, but we'll see. But yeah, there was the first slam dunk, guys. I think it's a great movie. If I have to give it a rating, then I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It does great. Again, it doesn't get a 10 because again the pacing is a bit more of a problem for me, but it wasn't bad. It does work on the second half, and it does work for the overall story for Miyagi. And it's great. And again, I really hoping that with the success of this movie, because this movie like make what, like 8.92 billion yen in Japan, which is about like, I don't know, like 80 million, I think, in US dollar, and then worldwide they make like 103 million worldwide, sorry, worldwide. And yeah, it's really it pretty much a successful anime movie, for Slam Dunk. And I'm really hoping that Takehiko Inoue, the creator of this Slam Dunk manga, and anime, I'm really hoping that he could make another slam dunk anime. Either it's gonna be a series or gonna be another movie. Because the conclusion of this movie is not exactly a conclusion for the manga. Because again, Miyagi is the main character. It's not Sakuragi. Because in the manga and the series, Sakuragi Hanamichi is the main character. In this one, he has his own moment where he becomes the main protagonist. But again, at the end of the day, this is Miyagi's movie, so that's why I think the conclusion for this movie is kind of like left hanging in my opinion. It feels like the career is like open for doing more, maybe. Like, I'm really hoping they do more. I'm really loving Slam Dunk. Again, it does bring back my the nostalgia, and then my passion for this anime since I was a child. Yeah, it's just great. I'm really hoping to see a sequel to this. Either it's gonna be a TV series, another TV series, or like it's gonna be a movie, another movie. Um, and yeah, I think I also heard that there is a bunch of scene that got cut from the manga, which again I'm not really sure about that. So people who already read the manga, maybe you can fill me in on that. How many scenes that they got cut, from this movie, and if that was the case, I'm really hoping that maybe in the future we're gonna get like, I don't know, a director's cut or something where you can add more scenes from the manga maybe to this movie. I think it's a possibility. So I'm really hoping that with the success of this movie, they could make another slam dunk anime. So I encourage you guys, for any of you who haven't watched the first slam dunk, then go watch it. Because why not? It's a great anime. If you guys are a big fan of Slam Dunk, then you might love this movie. And if you guys never watched Slam Dunk before, then maybe this will be a good first experience, for you guys, because I feel like you don't need to watch the TV series to understand what's going on in the plot, and that's a great thing. That's why it's called the first Slam Dunk, like for people who haven't watched the old Slam Dunk series, then you can go watch this at your as your first experience, and then maybe go back to watch the 90s TV series, because one is amazing, So I'm gonna leave a question to you guys for you guys who have watched the movie, like what do you guys think about the first Slam Dunk movie? Do you guys like it? Do you guys maybe disappointed or something? You guys can leave your comments in the comment section below, obviously. And if you guys enjoyed this review, then leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, usual stuff. Stay tuned for more videos in the future, guys. And again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.